chicken wings out of Mexico, so tariffs are going to hit us hard. Not to mention Corona and Modelo.
When I was young,
You know, I want to stop with the pizza. And yeah, wings and stuff.
what is all this?
MW.
No,
This Tina's art?
I was the one that got run over in the road.
I think this is going to be up to these.
I know. All right, good afternoon. If you all will please join me in standing as we have Pastor Paul Kelly give our invocation, please.
Shall we bow our heads as we pray? Eternal God, our Father, we come before your awesome presence with thanksgiving and praises unto you for your love for us. Thank you for blessing us to witness and to be a part of this another day. I come, O God, asking your blessings upon, O God, our mayor of the city, O God, our city commissioners. I pray, O God, that you would bless also, Father, our city workers as well, Lord, our police department, our fire department, our chiefs of police, as well as the chief of our fire department, oh God. We just pray your protection over them. Thank you, Father, for blessing them as they minister to the needs of our community. We just ask your guidance and direction, Father, for this city, oh God, that we will grow and prosper in you, oh God. And most of all, Lord, we'll grow as a city and prosper as well. We can do nothing without you. It's through you, Lord. We can do all things because you give us the strength, the wisdom to do it. And we thank you for your love. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your keeping care. We just speak blessings for this city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I now officially call our meeting to order. Okay, we have two proclamations. The first one is the Atchison Santa Fe Depot Day, April 24th, 2025. The proclamation is read, whereas on February 11th, 1859, the Atchison and Topeka Railroad was incorporated by Cyrus Holliday and Atchison residents Luther Chalice and Samuel Pomeroy. And whereas the organizing documents for the Atchison and Topeka Railroad were drafted and signed on 2nd Street, just north of Commercial Street in Atchison in 1860, and the name of the corporation was changed to the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway in 1863. And whereas the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad grew quickly, strengthening from Atchison westward through Topeka to Colorado, Texas, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the Pacific Coast region, and its final destination in Los Angeles, California, thereby facilitating the rapid expansion of settlers and commerce to the heart of the southwestern United States in the 20th century. And whereas the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway's iconic branding and popular passenger train services included the Super Chief, El Capitan, and Texas Chief, grew the railway's legacy and cultural impact. And whereas Michael Mick Haverty was born in Atchison, and during his career rose to the position of president of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway in 1989, solidifying the railway's historic connection with the city of Atchison. And whereas the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway's 136-year history of connecting Americans through travel, commerce, and culture amplified the name and reputation of the city of Atchison and lifted Atchison residents to positions of prominence and renown. Now, therefore, I, Mayor La Rochelle Young, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2025 as Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway Day in Atchison, Kansas, and urge all citizens to take interest in the connective history between the City of Atchison and the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway, dated this 21st day of April, 2025. Our next proclamation, Arbor Day. Whereas, in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, La Rochelle Young, Mayor of the City of Atchison, do hereby proclaim April 26th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Atchison, Kansas, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated this 21st day of April, 2025. Okay, with that, Tina, could you please call the roll?
Mayor Young,
Present.
Vice Mayor Wilcox.
Present.
Commissioner Greenlee,
Present.
Commissioner Murphy,
Present.
Commissioner Slattery.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Next, we will have a presentation by Skate High with Hope, the Joshua Kinsman Foundation. Welcome.
I assume we still have to say our name and address first?
You don't have to.
Okay. So I'm Pam Klein. This is Jeremy Watkins. We're the foundation, Skate High with Hope. We sent out an email. Tina, I think, forwarded it to all of you guys. So basically, we're just here to talk about the next phase 2 of the skate park, and see if you guys have any questions about the email, about our history, about anything like that. And I also gave you a printout of the plan of the skateboard park. That was the original plan that the junior high kids picked when we went to see them. And we've tweaked it a little bit, of course, according to cost and things like that. And so we ended up doing 2 different phases because kids wanted way too much at the time, and we kind of got tired of making them wait. So we split it up to 2 phases so we can get something started for them and, get them at it and continue on. So here we are for the second phase.
And basically why we're here now is just hopefully we can see if we can get put into the finances to be able to maybe start this project in 2026 with all the fundraising we've done, and hopefully with some help with you guys that we can, finish this project that we've started 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Our opening day was in October of 2021. And we've been doing fundraising ever since. We're kind of at a point where we're like, okay, we need to know, the input from the city, if they're going to match us again, if they're going, do you guys have a thought, an idea with the second phase? This is something we're doing, but it's gifted to the city. It's not for us, it's for the city. So we like to include as possible.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Appreciate that. If you could just, for some of our benefit, this is named after Joshua Kinsman. Could you explain a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so Joshua is my son, Jeremy's stepson. We've lived in Ashton our whole lives. He passed away when he was 17, and he was an avid skateboarder. He loved to skateboard, and, when he left us, we were just kind of at a shock. There was, the whole community was kind of stunned, and so we just didn't know what to do with the funds that were coming in for him, and we just knew that skateboarding made him happy. He always wondered how come Ashton couldn't have things like other cities, so decided to make that happen.
And he was going around to local businesses, you know, probably like he shouldn't have been, building up ramps, you know, weekend, then run away and make the people do it. So it's like, let's get them a place, or try to get them a place so we can avoid all that. Or
Try to
kids,
help keep him off the streets too.
yeah,
because-
kids skateboarding on the streets, you know, it's not real safe, you know, and stuff. And I know we've had them in the past, but this is a lot different than what we've had in the past. There's not a day we don't hear that people are using it, you know, and that's a great thing about it. And I still say to this day, if we had a place like this, you know, things could have been different. I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, skateboarding, you know, it's a sport. It's in the Olympics again. It's out there. It's being used.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. It is a beautiful, beautiful park. We really appreciate your sacrifice in that. Does anyone else have any comments, questions?
I have a question. You say you're currently doing fundraising, or you've been continuing with
We've
fundraising?
continued, yes.
Where are you now with fundraising?
So we are at 100 and give or take $20,000. The phase 2, that quote there is 275,000, give or take, you know, time period and in-kind donations, you know, so depending on where we're at and you know, what we all agree on, we can tweak it as needed to and still get the main focus of the bowl and the pump track is what the kids wanted.
Because we went around in the very beginning and people just, it was easy to say no. You know, you got two people, oh yeah, it's not going to happen, you know. Well, now we proved we can make it happen, and this could be totally different. We could go around the city to these businesses and local people, and they might be able to donate a little bit more because they see it's actually working compared to nothing. So, but like I said, we're at this point now, it's like we'd like to get going, but, you know, it might take us another 3, 4, 5 years. We're not going to give up. It's going to happen, but...
We feel like we owe it to the community of the kids that empty their pockets at the fundraisers or the parents that come by that probably shouldn't be handing out any money. And, you know, they're giving us money, trusting us into making this happen. So I know we've worked with Clinton. I know a lot of you guys are new, but a lot of you, some of you, you know, have known us our whole lives, and they were here for the first round. So we're just kind of seeing where we need to go. We're going to continue to fundraise even after phase 2 is done. But we need to know, you know, when we can start planning to hand the money over to you guys.
Because we were even thinking on the way down here, we know that Reasoner's got the
Master
master overhaul, you know. Anything that you're willing to help us make this complete, even if it's more than what the price is, the rest is yours to go right back into that park to the master plan. So, I mean, it's not like, even if it's part that we've saved for it, we want to make sure that what we're doing up there is for that. So, I mean,
the
just let you know
overall goal was
anything
the skate
extra is
park,
going right
but
back to it.
We realize that the skate park is included with the Reasoner Park. So even when this is over, you know, as much as we can do for the whole park itself.
I have a question for Clinton. Clinton, with the skate park where it is now, and with this potential expansion and the location close to that creek, is that going to be an issue? Because that creek, when we have good rainy weather, it does sometimes tend to get out of its banks, or does it not?
I think that would probably be a question for the eventual design engineer, phase 2.
And when we had the design company come and the architects, our original plan was one big bowl there, and they had recommended the 2-level bowl because of the creek and scooted in a little bit. So they've already did some suggestions on that.
Right,
Do you have
okay.
any estimate of how many kids skateboard?
I just told her that. I'm like, God, I wish I knew how many people we could sit here and say, you know, we're using it, you know, because I knew college kids use it. You've got kids right out of school go down and use it. We've had people out of state, out of town come in and use it. I mean, I really wish I had a ticker that, you know, you could sit there and do it. Some days there's, you know, 1 or 2. Some days there's 10 or so.
Do you live in proximity to the park or not?
Actually, no, we don't.
Okay.
When Josh left us, we lived on south side of town, which doesn't matter to me. Atchison's Atchison, we're all one community. So, but we recently have moved out in the country, so yes, we do not live close to the park, but I know every time we come to town, we visit and we go by there.
Yeah.
Everybody we've talked to says they see people, so.
So the blue area is the current, is that correct?
No, that's
The
the
blue
new.
is the average.
Okay.
So the original is just a
On
triangle.
the floor.
So, yeah, on the paper, it was actually a three-phase park. It was going to be the triangle, then it was going to be a bowl, and then it was going to be a little track on the front. And-
Little white area is what's there now, is that?
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the
I
white
was having
area,
trouble
if you look at the color picture. If you look at the blueprint, the shaded areas is phase 2, which is the bowl. And then when I say pump track, it's just an up and down wavy track for smaller kids and actually, just circle it around. And then our overall goal is to connect it with the sidewalk and make it a full circle around the bowl.
And with Clinton and Justin, I know he's been with us and stuff. When we originally threw this, we were, shooting for land that we would have had to acquire, the city would do this, and we finally just came to an agreement, it's like, let's just put it where it's feasible for everybody, and, I think overall, it's been a great place. So, because we were wanting to put it down there by Sonic in that open lot, but, there were different plans for that area, so we said, let's do it.
And
So,
overall, I think it's turned out to be great.
I'd say anecdotally, I have kids. We go to Reasoner Park. I think every time we've been at Reasoner Park, somebody is either using the skate park or is walking in to use it or leaving. There's activity around there,
And I know
like
the
every
last-
park in town.
The
So.
last time we went, we had our grandkids and we couldn't even, they're kind of little, so we couldn't even use it yet because the bigger kids were taken up, which is totally fine. But when we get this extra park, there will be more room for them to make the full circle around the whole park itself.
I'd offer maybe to the commissioners, it's probably a good opportunity for Clinton and I and maybe Reagan to sit down with you guys and have a meeting and kind of go through these things, look at where it might fit into our budget, what kind of in-kind work we might be able to provide, have a more detailed meeting about
because
it.
I know last time, the guy that worked with us was Brad from Pillar. He actually gave us a complete breakdown of every little bitty thing that it would take to make the park happen.
Sure.
And that's where we went out to a lot of businesses too and got a lot of in-kind donations, so then that dollar amount wasn't so high. But at least this, like I said, just what we're asking for now is just to give us like, yes, we're gonna be able to do this and we'll do whatever it takes. But at least we got that go-ahead that, hey, we can make this happen.
Yeah.
Our overall goal would be to, we lived in a fantasy world, to be in the 2026 budget and to break ground in late summer of 2026. We kind of have a goal of where we could be at by then, the city's matching. With the master plan and the Parks Board, I think they have more design for the park itself. And it would be nice to have an opening day to have skate park completed along with the upper park.
What has been, excuse me, what has been your main way of raising funds? I mean, have you...
You name it, we've
Sometimes
done it.
we've done things, where we walked around the city and we knocked on doors and we went into businesses and asked. A lot of this stuff is we do raffles and different things on Facebook. We've done Oktoberfest. We've done events at the park. We've done
do
the
get grants.
match day and stuff with the rest of the
Area.
Atchison group. Yeah, you name anything, we've
We've
tried
had
it
private
probably, so.
donations, they're still coming in, we also do a couple of grants that come in. In the beginning, we did, which was the Tony Hawk, which is now the Skateboard Foundation. Unfortunately, we could only apply for that one time, so that's a one and done thing, but we still do as much as possible.
Who was the contractor on that?
Artisan. It was Pillar Design that did it, but they actually contracted out through Artisan. I don't know if they had any more to their name.
I think it was just artists.
Yeah. So
Artisan Skate Park.
they kind of go all over. I tried staying local, but Pillar I think it was Illinois, was probably the ones that do these kind of things a little bit more, the pros. So that's where we kind of went with. And
Plus, the concrete's different than the local contractors that we have around here.
it's mixed differently. So
It's a chemical
I looked at that thing, I thought, how in the world did they ever build this?
yeah. Yeah, the concrete's mixed a little bit different, so it's a harder concrete and it sets up, so it's gonna last a lot longer in how they do it, so.
I mean, we were just parents that knew our kids like to skateboard and other kids like to skateboard, and we've learned so much with the whole building of skate parks. So.
That's good.
Well, I'm not trying to speak for the rest of the commission, but my perspective, I admire you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
It's been a long journey, but we are here today. That's part of living in Atchison.
Like that
That's what you do. That, you know.
And to answer, I think it was
Absolutely.
Larry that asked if we live, we are now out in the county.
Yeah, we're still.
That's where we're currently now, but it doesn't mean that we're gonna, you know, like she said, we drove to Iowa to take these kids to a skate park. And I tell you what, that was the biggest time that I've seen a group of people just get together and not have any quarrels with one another. I'm like, this is the life to have, you know, like anybody can come together and make it work.
I know our opening day, we had a variety of different types of people, and there was no issues. We had a huge turnout, more than what. It was just nice to see get along, families together again like they're supposed to.
Well, it's a wonderful thing that you have done for our city, a wonderful memorial for your son, and we really appreciate, like I said, before your sacrifice, and just a beautiful thing. So thank you so much. Does anyone else have any other questions, comments? Okay.
We're free for a meeting whenever you want.
Okay.
Definitely take advantage of the meeting.
We will have a meeting and then we will be.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so
very
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, at this time, I will open up for a public forum. Persons who wish to address the city commission regarding items that are not on the agenda. Again, this public forum is for items not on the agenda, may do so at this time when called upon by the mayor. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Again, speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should give their name and address when addressing the commission. Any presentation is for informational purposes only. Any and all written communication should be deposited with the city clerk. At this time, I will open for public forum. All right. I see we do not have anyone here for public forum, so we are closing. In 3, 2, 1, public forum is closed. At this time, we will have our consent agenda presented by our city manager, Mr. Mark Westhoff. Mr. Westhoff.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. We have 6 items on the consent agenda tonight. The first is to approve the minutes from the April 7th, 2025 City Commission meeting. The second is to approve hiring Government Assistance Services, GAS, as the grant administrator for $30,000 to continue to apply for funding at no additional expense unless the grant is awarded by CDBG. This is for the CDBG housing grant that we're applying for. All bids were the same price. Staff recommends GAS based on our experiences with that firm. Third is to authorize the mayor to sign the CDBG Commercial Rehab 23 CR 001 733 Commercial Weld Properties LLC time extension request and contract amendment request number 1 for the property at 8th and Commercial that is being renovated. I know we do have a representative here if you have any questions about that. The fourth is to adopt Resolution 3413, Friday Night on the River and Concert in the Sky for the Amelia Earhart Festival Special Event Permit. Fifth is to authorize city staff to hire Chalfont Lawn Care for the 2025 right-of-way mowing services contract, a total authorization of $54,000 for the year. And the sixth is to approve the occupational license for the Fox Theater Atchison.
Okay.
Have any questions?
Does anyone have any questions?
On that mowing thing,
Yes.
that's, the bid is actually for, that's a total amount maximum, and then it's so much of mowing, is that correct? That's what I, on 25.
$3,000 a round, maximum of 18 rounds.
What all do they mow?
It's the highway right away on 59 Highway, K7 up north, US 73, Woodlawn Avenue right away, North Hills medians, and Riverview Drive.
Okay.
Just wondering, is there any way we could kind of extend that mowing period? I'm working on this mowing thing all the time, I know, but to where we don't mow it quite as frequently.
We need, the big issue there is, it's the right of way, and we're held to mow that under KDOT standards. We don't want to get on their bad side. But, I mean, I believe we mow it as frequently as it needs it. I don't know, we'll only mow it as frequently as it needs it, I'll put it that way.
That's approximately twice a month during the mowing season,
Approximately.
18 times,
Yeah.
9 months.
It's kind of based on like maybe every 10 days, but if there's a drought period and it doesn't need to be mowed, kind of one of those.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, we will do 18 mowing, the maximum.
When it gets to a certain height, especially on the right of way, it's a safety issue.
Okay.
Well, I move we adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? I'll second. Oh, okay.
I'll second it.
All right, Commissioner Greenlee seconded. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the consent agenda. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we are on to new business. And first is resolution number 3414, a resolution of the governing body of the city of Atchison, Kansas, authorizing the sale and conveyance of certain property to Atchison senior residents. Mr. Westhoff.
Yes, so this stems from, so the Atchison Senior Residences, which is Trinity Place Senior Living Facility here in town. In 2008, the City Commission passed Ordinance 6322, authorizing taxable multifamily housing revenue bonds for that project. They provided the organization with a sales tax exemption for the construction costs, as well as 10 years of property tax exemptions that kicked in 2009, and an opportunity to purchase the bonds once they were paid off. So the property tax exemption should have ended in 2019. The bonds have now been paid off in the last couple years as well, but at that time, nothing got completed on our end, and so we were still on title for the property. In 2008, when you did these kinds of revenue bonds, the state required the city to put a lien on the property. They don't handle it that way anymore, is my understanding. Well, I know they don't handle it that way anymore. This is my understanding of how they did it then. We only kind of became aware of this because we received, a few weeks back, we received an inspection report from KDHE, thankfully saying that they passed their inspection with glowing colors, but we were kind of curious why the city received that report because we didn't think we owned the property. Went through, did this investigation, and found that this process needs to be completed to hand over full title to Atchison Senior Residences, put it on the property tax list, and let them move forward with business as they are operating there.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, if not, Tina, could you please call the roll? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution number 3414?
So moved.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution number 3414, a resolution of the governing body of the city of Atchison, Kansas, authorizing the sale and conveyance of certain property to Atchison senior residents. Now, Tina, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Greenlee,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Slattery,
Yes.
Mayor Young,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilcox.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Our next is resolution number 3415, setting a show cause hearing for demolition of property located at 1034 Santa Fe Street. Mr. Wheeler, thank you for
Good
joining
evening,
us.
Commissioners. As Mayor said, I'm here to present on the first show cause hearing for demolition at 1034 Santa Fe. There's going to be a lot of pictures up there on the screen, just showing how the house is it's in a increased state of deterioration, the foundation's failing at multiple points. Not really sure what's going on, what's shifting with it, what's causing it to happen. The owner is deceased. I've spoken to his daughter, who has taken it through probate. They have no intention of fixing it up. She would ultimately like to get rid of it. Understands that it's in enough disrepair that it would meet demolition, and so understood that we'd be bringing it here this evening. So yeah, I'm just here to show you the pictures. Windows are bad. It hasn't had water since 2014. So even though I haven't been inside of it, you can just assume plumbing, water heater, electrical, windows. The roof is actually newer on it, but like I said, the foundation's in bad enough shape. I would like to bring attention to the fact that in the report that I submitted as part of the action report, that the county does have this assessed or valued at $28,420, which seems pretty high based upon the condition that it's in. That brings that 200% to $56,840. I only found $42,314 worth of repairs needed, which I think is pretty conservative. But I didn't include a structural analysis, which I think this house is going to need if somebody was wanting to buy it and put a foundation under it, just because of how it's twisting or leaning or doing something for this foundation on the front end, and then these back corners. Kind of every corner just seems to be popping and moving. And then the brick, you can see up towards the most northern window, it's pulling away from the substrate. So we're gonna lose that at some point, which makes me a little nervous with neighboring homes. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, it's taxes are 3 years unpaid on it also.
Are we mowing it?
Okay.
Are we mowing it?
We probably will be. We were last year, yes. We haven't cut it yet this year.
So you said the daughter intended to sell it, but has made no action.
Last time I talked to her, she had just had a baby, and she said, well, it's going to be a while. And I said, we just can't wait on it. We're going to go ahead. And I said, I'm going to move on it from this end, and then because she wants to clean it out, but didn't give me any kind of time frame on how that was going to happen. And she's already had quite a bit of time to deal with this. Because like I said, I've just been holding off, trying to give it an opportunity to go through probate to where there'd be somebody that had some kind of legal right to do something with it. I know neighbors have shown interest in it. There's been some community members that have shown interest in it. So
In the property, not the house.
In the what?
They've shown interest in the house or the property?
Property, yeah. So I'm kind of hoping this will take care of itself to where we don't end up having to put in, money into it. But I think just to protect ourselves and
The surrounding.
it's a good idea to go ahead and move it forward for a show cause.
Okay. When was the last time you spoke with the daughter?
Yeah, I don't have a date, but it's been, let's say, 2 months ago.
Okay.
When did this
Right.
guy pass away? Didn't he die this winter?
It's been a little while, yeah.
Like
Okay.
Let's say
about
6.
6 months?
Yeah, maybe even longer than that. I think it was last year, maybe May or June. Because like I said, it's been going through probate this was a long probate. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a little bit. And like I said, been trying to get in contact with them, and it finally came together where I was able to talk to the daughter, and so anyway, that's
Does she understand that if you move on, you're tearing it down?
correct. Yes, and that there would be an assessment if it goes that far against the property, which is going to make it, I don't know, more difficult to sell, but I hope it kind of right sizes her ask for the property, because I think last time I talked to her, she was basing it upon assessed value, which it's her property. She can ask what she wants for it, but I think she'll struggle getting rid of
You know how
it.
much taxes are due on it?
I do not. I haven't printed off, but no, I don't know for sure. It's 3 years with some assessments. I mean, it could be a couple thousand.
I would note
Okay.
that this,
Yeah.
this resolution, as Curtis is presenting it, is for the next step. It's not actually approving the demolition
Correct.
of either of these properties. It would be setting a public hearing to discuss that in more detail. This would be set for June 16th.
Yes. And if it's set, we'll have to send out notifications to all parties involved.
Okay. February 24, okay. And when did you say no utilities since when?
2014.
Okay. No utilities since 2014. And then Curtis, you said that you're concerned just in terms of the houses on either side. It's
Yeah,
becoming a safety.
I've had both parties have contacted me with their concerns for the home, especially on the west side where the bricks pulling away from the house. He's afraid. He's just put a bunch of money into his house, put new windows on it, new siding, and he's afraid it's going to damage his home.
Okay,
So
okay. All right, any other questions or concerns?
Do they own the trucks that are parked in the backyard, do you know?
they do, because that's going to be another thing that she's now able to get rid of, because I think she can now apply for title because her name, however that works, went through probate where she's legally able to start moving on some things.
The trucks that we just saw in the picture?
Yes. Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah.
There's two of them in the backyard.
I
That
see.
crack there looks pretty fearsome, but that is something to fix.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of problems on that house.
There is. There is. I mean, really start looking at it. The back porch is, again, it can all be rebuilt. Anything can be with the right amount of money, right amount of skill set, the people, but it's more than just a little bit of, filling in the gaps on that.
That's a solid brick house, isn't it? It looked to me like it was. It's
Yeah.
not a brick veneer house.
No, I think it's brick veneer.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, just based on the front. Yeah, where it's fallen off, you can see. Yeah, you can see the exposed lap.
So we need a motion, or what?
We do. So just to reiterate, this motion will set a public hearing. So do we have a motion to accept resolution number 3415, which again, setting a show cause hearing for demolition of property located at 1034 Santa Fe Street?
That's a motion.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded again that we will accept resolution number 3415, setting a show cause hearing for demolition of property located at 1034 Santa Fe Street. Tina?
Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Commissioner Slattery?
I'm gonna vote present on that deal. Got some possible conflicts.
You're
So you're abstaining.
abstaining.
Yeah.
Mayor Young?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilcox?
Yes.
Commissioner Greenlee?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, number 3, resolution number 3416, setting a show cause hearing for demolition of property located at 415 Laramie Street.
All right.
Yes.
So the second one, another house that I started getting a lot of calls from neighbors regarding the condition of the property. There's also some concern through Evergy, who has contacted us because the owners wanted to get power turned back onto the property, but Evergy was going to require, the electrical's in such bad shape, they were going to require that it all be redone. And so Phil has our building official has met with several contractors out there who are going to bid the new electrical, and they couldn't find a solid spot to mount the new panel or riser. So that added to some concern. There's also, the porches are caving in, the roof's dipping, the foundation's blowing out in areas. It's an old stone foundation. This is the wall that is particularly bad on the west side, that they just couldn't find. Everything's rotted. The eaves are rotted. walls are rotted, siding's rotted, there's just nowhere to put anything. So, and then, like I said, add neighbor complaints into it that there's animals in and out of it, and with property values going up, everybody, and it's a nice area. They're just trying to protect their residents. So, so I looked at this. It's valued at $8,360. 200%, $16,720, and I came up with $21,532 worth of repairs needed, included a roof, rebuilding porches, electrical. Water's been off since '21, so there'd just be a lot of work needed on this house.
It's a very small, it's a very narrow lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very narrow house.
Rebuildable.
So taxes are unpaid just for '24, not on the list of register of historic places. And I have sent the owner a letter. I've sent him a cost share letter, just anything to try to kind of prompt a conversation with him. Evergy, I've talked to them. They've also sent him multiple letters to try to get him, to make some repairs, and they haven't had any luck with him either. So
He's not occupying it, is he?
correct. No.
Okay.
That was my question, yes.
Yeah,
Is
no.
No one's occupying
No,
it.
the last-
He submitted for the.
We heard from a family member.
Reconnect Evergy.
Well, we heard from a family member recently that wanted to rehab it. They wanted the power on, and we couldn't turn it on because Evergy wouldn't turn it on, and it just kind of
Okay.
has sparked this whole thing.
Okay.
So,
Is the owner local?
correct, yes.
And they still haven't responded?
No, he has not.
It's Haley's on it.
I don't know anybody.
They have several rental houses.
Okay. Do we have any other questions for Curtis at all on this? Okay. All right. If not, is there a motion to accept resolution number 3416, setting a show cause hearing for demolition of property located at 415 Laramie Street?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we will accept resolution number 3416, setting a show cause hearing for demolition of property located at 415 Laramie Street.
One question.
Yes, question.
Would the show cause hearing be the same as
Yes.
the,
Yes.
Both June 16th.
both June 16th?
Yep.
That's just,
Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, if not, Tina, could you please call the roll?
Commissioner Slattery,
I'm going to abstain again.
Mayor Young,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilcox,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenlee,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Curtis. At this time, Clinton McNamee, our Public Works Director, item number 14, 14th and Main Traffic Signals Update. Mr. McNamee.
All right, so pretty cut and dry, I think. The traffic and pedestrian signals at 14th and Main are becoming obsolete, if not obsolete. We had to rob parts off of old equipment for several years now. This is something that's been deferred a few times in our CIP. So this would be the replacement of those signals and the controller, the computer, whatever you'd like to call it, that runs those, the timing and sequencing of those. Reached out to a handful of local electrical contractors. Our on-call contractor, Gerber Electric, was the sole bid that was submitted for this, and their contract price is $33,944.01. And so that's my request, is for authorization to hire Gerber Electric with an additional $3,000 for change orders.
Okay, all right. Very good. Any questions?
I have a
Yes.
question, is, will the lights that are there are antiquated for sure. Are the new ones we put in, will they be, I guess you'd say, motion detected? So if there's no traffic one way, the light will stay one way? You know what I mean?
I don't believe that there are any plans in place at the moment to deviate from the timed
It would all
setup
be-
that we have now.
It would be a timed
if there was,
change instead of.
if there was
a movement
some
change.
request for us to look into that, I suppose we could, but I don't believe that it's going to be like a sensor situation in which Main Street, for example, would probably be the most likely one to stay active until someone pulls up from.
Well, that's what I was referring to. 'Cause
Yeah, I don't believe that we have that in the works.
Does that cost much to add that?
It costs something. I don't know how much
Probably.
that would be.
3,000 more?
What's that?
I just was joking.
Oh, I don't know that I would,
Oh,
just anecdotally, I don't know that I would recommend that for that particular one. I can't think of a time where I've been stopped and there haven't been people also stopped on 14th.
You have
Maybe at night or something, but
I'm just thinking the way most traffic controls seem to be going with motion detectors or something along that line, and
they don't come without some issues, like the ones we have on the highway. Sometimes have trouble picking up white cars, and so we have to go hire
is
Gerber
the
with their
most part
bucket
around
truck
now.
to go clean the lenses off.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that was something that we were going to implement. But it would still
I don't
have-
believe so, but
It
if,
would have pedestrian crossings, buttons people could push to control that.
yeah, that stuff's already there, and this would update all of it.
Basically just an upgrade, newer.
Where you can actually see the light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's the issue. All right, any other questions? If not, do we have a motion to recommend? If so, I will move. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we authorize staff to hire Gerber Electric to update the traffic signals and controller at the intersection of 14th and Main Street in the amount of $33,944.01 with an additional budget authority of $3,000 for change orders. Do we have questions? If not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, communications. Mr. Westhoff.
Thank you all. Communications, today we have the March financials for the city. I called to your attention two interesting things, page 92 and page 93. On 92 is the Star Bond tax collection progress. It is moving forward very well. We're on pace this year to have as good of tax collection in that district or better as last year, which was the best year that we've had on record, and we're on pace to pay off that Star Bond within the next year at worst. So Justin and I are working on some ways to maybe leverage that to continue collecting those taxes to be put to use in that district. But that's good news. One of the success stories over there. And then also on page 93, you'll see a handful of the non-routine payments over $10,000 are for the ARPA nonprofit distributions that you all approved. I just wanted you to see those are going out to the community now, and you'll see more on the April as we're processing those multiple a week at this point. So those grants that you all approved are getting out to the community quickly and are going to start making positive impact.
I can't remember, what was this Star Bond, what did that start out for?
The total was,
No, what was the use of it?
oh, okay, so
Was that-
the Star Bond district was put towards the farmers market awnings as well as the Amelia Earhart Airport Museum. The Airport Museum obviously had a lot of other input to it as well, but the Star Bonds was one part of that package.
Okay.
And it captured some of the taxes from this downtown district, especially the Holiday Inn and the Taco Bell, which went in after or during the Star Bond process.
Yeah, the most important thing to know about that is that all these are like all the, what I call the alphabet soup, the acronyms of these state government programs. It's all about grabbing like incremental revenue. And so there are ways to do that with property tax and other things. STAR is really powerful because it allows you, the state basically gives up their future sales tax collection inside of a district. Now, a lot of times you have to give up something to get that in return. In this case, we gave up the local sales tax, but it works out to be like a 75% state-funded thing. So it's not like you don't have any skin in the game, you do, but that's why, I would also mention this, Atchison has by far, and it's not close, smallest executed star bond project in the history of the state. There's only been like 17 or 18, my memory serves me right. We're the smallest by several margin. It's just a really difficult thing to execute on a small scale. Usually it's in suburban areas where there's some big new box store or something that's going to drive revenue. So, the fact that we did it and that it's going to pay off in a third of the time that it was otherwise originally allowed to operate for is pretty incredible.
Yeah, just for note, the original payoff date for that star bond is March 1st, 2036. So we're set to pay it off at least, I would say at least 10 years early, based on the taxes collected in that district going towards the project. And it's a way for us to capture, like you mentioned, the state taxes that would otherwise be going to the state. We get to keep it locally and keep it in that district and put towards projects that benefit the whole city. So
You mentioned that we give up, what was it? I didn't get.
our own tax collection.
We give up our 1%. We have a general use 1% sales tax. To make this work, we had to give that up, and then also because there's a hotel in the district, I think it was 25% of
The TGT.
of the transient gas tax that we through it. So the negotiation with the State Department of Commerce, that's what we wound up having to pledge in order to have access to the state's 6.5% sales tax.
So that runs out at the same time we pay it off then?
Unless we figure out a way to extend it to other projects in the district, which we are actively working on right now.
Process, but
Yeah. But if not, if we don't end up coming up with something that works, it's not a huge loss. We give that state tax money starts going to the state, but the city starts collecting our 1% sales tax that we've been handing over to that district, plus the full TGT. So
significant bump in TGT.
yeah, we would definitely get a lot more in the tourism dollars, as well as we'd collect a fair bit more in sales taxes, but we'd lose those state funds that get to pour into that district right now. So we still think in the end, it's ultimately a good idea to try to capture that if we can, if there's a project that makes sense, and we're looking into that right now. So. And then the next thing in the communications is an update on the Atchison Event Center financials. We have Executive Director Travis Grossman here, if you would like to chat with him on anything Event Center and their quarterly financial report.
Okay, all right. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Grossman? Okay.
Good evening, thank you. Again, Travis Grossman. Just to give you a heads up, we've got a new event center coordinator in place, just hired her a couple weeks ago. Really excited about her position. What we've done with her position, which is a little different from all the other event center coordinators we've had, we've kind of changed her job around a little bit. She's going to be the events and kind of communication or public relations coordinator for Theater Atchison as a whole. So we're looking to her to have her actually develop more programs. Events is probably a better word. Events that would take place out at the event center, in addition to just her overseeing all the events that already take place. So our hope is to be able to grow some more foot traffic, bar use, sales tax opportunities through her skill set. She comes out of Lawrence, Kansas. Isabel Worden is her name, and we're excited to have her on board. So I just want to let you know about that. Hopefully we'll catch some wind in our sail. As you know, first quarter for a lot of folks, retail in general, been down. It's been a tough year start. We're hoping it will get better for everybody, so fingers crossed.
Okay, Travis, just one question. Did you say that Isabel, is she a shared employee with?
She is.
Okay.
Correct.
Just wanted to
That's
make
right.
sure.
You got it.
Okay, very good. Any other questions?
You say shared employee with Event Center and Theater Atchison?
Correct, that's right.
Okay.
And actually the Fox too.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully she'll be able to do events for everybody and all things. The Fox kind of takes care of itself. It's insulated a bit in what we can do and will do with that because of its scheduling. Theater Atchison's a little more flexible, and the Event Center obviously is very flexible. I wish it weren't. I wish we had events there every weekend, every day, and we had no room for it, but unfortunately we don't. So that's where the majority of the flexibility is for us to be able to do some new events or additionals. So that's kind of why that is what it is.
So your income is up from last year and your expenses are down?
What you're looking at, which one, the month or? I want to catch up with you.
Well, I guess the last quarter, I guess.
You looking at quarterly?
Page 94, what I have.
Oh, okay, let me. The month or the quarter?
That was December through February.
Correct, okay, so,
Kind of a,
okay, is that, I see. So this would have been December through February, not the one that I have here, okay. And I don't have last year's in front of me to know how we tuned up.
Okay.
but if you look at the next page, on 96, that's the actual first quarter of 2025.
Yeah.
Does that help, Larry? Does that
Yeah,
help?
well, you
answer
got
your question?
38.7 in revenue, whereas 32,000.
I got you. Yeah, so we did pick up some bar sales in that punched it up a little bit. I see what you're saying. Yep.
The Fox Theater is not included in this.
Correct. This is just the event center.
So do we ever get we never get a report on Fox Theater, is that correct?
Not necessarily, unless he's on the board, so he actually sees it.
Just interested.
But, yeah.
And I really like your commercial, too.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I will let you know on the Fox Theater, for just an FYI, so our December was astonishing. We had better numbers than I could have ever imagined. The best December we've ever had since we've opened, so that speaks a lot. Our first quarter, all 3 months together, the worst that we've had since we've opened. So the minute that January 1 hit, sales immediately dropped off, and they haven't been good until 2 weekends ago when Minecraft came out, coincidentally. So that movie hooked, and it's got traction and it's burning. So.
I was there with Minecraft, and yes, it was
crazy,
very
wasn't
busy.
it? Yeah, absolutely. And we were grateful, and we were holding on for everything we had, fingernails.
Page 12.
Have you had the excitement, though, with, when they shout, chicken, whatever?
Oh, right, yes, we have not had anybody bringing any weird objects into the theater. No chickens in the theater. Yeah, right, exactly. It's almost the modern-day Rocky Horror film aspect, yes, and no, we haven't, thank goodness. So that's been ideal.
Chicken jockey, that's.
Is that what it is? And I don't know well enough to know all the details. You know more than I do.
I watch the news.
Okay, all right.
I was wondering here on page 86 and 87, we have where it says prior year. I mean, that's how you kind of look at things, what your prior year was compared to the present year, and there's nothing there. Why don't we have that?
It could be put in there.
That's us.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, I don't give you any priors.
Okay.
I can answer that question, or Reagan can answer that question for you. But that's the land bank.
I'm sorry, yeah, I missed it when we were going through it.
Yes, that's right. Mike, I think you're looking at adjustments last year. We have current and year-to-date on both of those, so I'm not sure what, but that's the city's financial.
Right.
I think, were you wanting a
Event center starts on the next page.
similar metrics for the event center? Is that what you were saying?
No,
Oh, okay.
on this, I just missed it.
Oh,
We went on before I got there.
Okay.
If you're gonna look at something and compare it, you gotta have last year's numbers, is what I'm thinking.
We can put it together that way.
It's no big deal.
Okay.
That tells you whether you're going up or down, more than just.
We typically look more at, for our financials, we look at how we're comparing to our budget.
Right.
Rather than comparing, because we might have increased the budget on a certain, or decreased it. Looking at last year isn't always helpful on a budget line by budget line. Total budget, we can look at here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for Travis?
No,
Anything? Okay, thank you, Mr. Grossman.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then the last thing I have is my city manager update. One more reminder that the Atchison County Cleanup Day is Friday, April 25th and Saturday, April 26th. Details are on the county's website, not the city, but they do have details there. We encourage city residents to take the opportunity to, do a little spring cleaning. We'll also be announcing our own initiatives later this month, reminding residents about our current trash services, including special pickups, adding some additional special pickup days, and potentially creating a community cleanup program to help beautify Atchison in the summer and going forward. The U Street Bridge is gone. It was quite an operation if you saw or heard it.
Heard it.
Yeah, I think everybody heard it. Larry, you were pretty close. I think I counted 13 excavators and a dozen bobcats. It was pretty incredible.
It was incredible.
The full project itself should be wrapped up and completely by May 21st, unless there's any weather delays, which they had that night. We are in the middle of our annual audit right now, so we'll provide an update on that when it's completed. And obviously, there will be a presentation with the audit committee and then to the commissioners after that as well. The Patriot Street Bridge project, the sewer line relocation, our part of it is underway. KDOT is letting the project on May 21st, so we'll know at that point who the contractor is and what their timeline looks like for replacing that bridge. Again, we are paying 0% of the actual bridge replacement. KDOT's paying 100%. We just have to move this sewer line first. The airport update, the gas pipeline relocation part of that project is completed. The contractor is sealing the old section of the pipeline, but the new section is open and operating now. They should be finishing that up this week, and then dirt work to cover that up can move forward, and then obviously the actual runway work after that. LFM Park update. City crews started demolition of some of the structures in anticipation of the concrete work. The contractor wants to complete that before Juneteenth celebrations, so that should be done soon. The new structure may or may not be installed in time for Juneteenth. If it isn't installed in time, we'll provide additional tents from the city for that event. An update on the Riverfront Trail. We accepted a contractor's bid to complete the immediate repairs on the trail. So it'll be gravel in that section, but a usable trail again probably in about a month or so. So it'll be available over the summer. We're still looking into and researching the long-term solutions for that section of the riverfront, as well as honestly the whole riverfront area. And then lastly, Wednesday, April 23rd is Administrative Professionals Day, and I wanted to take a minute to send a huge thank you to all administrative staff for the city, especially our city clerk, Tina Fitzpatrick, for all that she and our other administrative staff do to keep the city running smoothly. They do a great job. So.
All right, thank you, Mr. Westall. She is. Well, and we thank you, Tina, because you keep us all straight, so really appreciate that. All right, at this time, since we have no informational items, governing body comments, Commissioner Greenlee?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
Oh, maybe with the passing of Pope Francis, we might all reflect on being better people around the world. Good role model, and hopefully the Catholic Church will choose another great one.
Okay. All right. All right, Commissioner Slattery?
I'm good.
All right. Commissioner Murphy?
I would just like to comment on, I went out and watched a little bit of the demolition of the U Street Bridge, and it looked like a ballet. Darndest thing I've ever seen in my life. All these those working, it was amazing. Somebody's a lot smarter than this guy. But it was interesting to watch.
All right. Okay.
Even though I wish we would have had it rebuilt instead of demolished, would have made me happier. But it's what it is.
All right. Very good. And I just want to reiterate, thank you, Tina, for all you do for us, keeping us on track and on time and where we need to be. And really appreciate that, and all of our administrative assistants at the city. And with that, we will entertain a motion to adjourn to Land Bank. Is there a move?
All
right, it's been moved, and Commissioner Slattery moved, and Commissioner Murphy seconded. Okay, all those in favor of adjourning to Land Bank, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned to Land Bank.
Couple minute break.
Do we need a 5-minute break, or are we able to move along?
Closing off the Facebook
Okay.
stream.
All right.